Hi Smithswood community, I hope this message reaches you all and that it finds you, your families and your friends well. I wanted to reach out to you today to let you know that whilst our doors are closed to most of you, we are still here for all of you. Whether that is to provide you with schoolwork and to support you with completing that work, or whether that is to support you in other ways. I want you to know that that's what we're here for and that's what we want to do. As I'm filming this, we've actually only been closed for 14 days, 14 school days. It feels much longer, I think. You will have seen in the national press that there's been a lot of speculation about when schools may or may not open. The truth is that we just don't know. The government has said that the lockdown situation will be reviewed in a couple of weeks' time. There may be an imminent return to school, there may not be. We just have to wait and see. I know this is not an easy time for many of you. Many of you, I know, are worried about parents and friends and other members of the family, particularly if those people are frontline NHS or care workers. Some of you may have had family or friends that have become unwell through COVID-19 and some may have become seriously unwell. Others may be finding it hard to adjust to being in social isolation and not being able to enjoy the things that you would ordinarily enjoy and those things that were previously important to you. When the national lockdown was first introduced, I watched a BBC News report about a captain of a submarine and how he and his team learnt to cope with social isolation. The captain's name was Ryan Ramsey and he was a captain of a nuclear submarine, HMS Turbulent. He once spent 286 days at sea without seeing daylight or being able to feel the fresh air. He described the submarine as an 84-metre steel tube, and he goes on to say that 130 people lived within the confines of that steel tube. Obviously, there would have been very little personal space at all, and living conditions would have been very, very crowded. Now, in lots of respects, we're still lucky. We're lucky enough to be able to see daylight and to get some fresh air during our daily exercise. And we're lucky enough to be able to reach out to family and friends and communicate with those people through social media or other forums. What Captain Ramsey did in this news report was talk about how he and his team manage this social isolation and how they get through these long periods of time without being able to do the things that they really enjoy. I thought these things were worth sharing with you because actually we don't live on submarines. You know, we're at home in most cases. We're with our family. But there are things that we can take from his message to make the next few weeks and potentially longer a little bit more manageable for us all. So the first thing that he talked about was routine. So making sure that you have a routine and that you stick to it. This might be getting up and going to bed at regular times. It might be eating meals at similar times every day. It might be taking a small amount of exercise every day or completing some of your schoolwork with regularity. Routines really do help. Routines help to get us through the day, and getting through a day helps to get us through a week. And actually getting through a week then helps us to get through longer periods of time. He talked about cleaning, and obviously he talked about that from the context of a submarine. Well, we're not on a submarine, we're at home. But there's a lot to be said for keeping our bedrooms tidy, something that I say to my children all of the time, and making an effort to get dressed rather than stay in our PJs, which is tempting. It's tempting for me sometimes, but keeping ourselves clean and tidy helps us to feel better about ourselves. It really does. Even helping those at home to keep the house clean and tidy helps to add to that sense of routine and normality, and I'm absolutely certain that that bit of help at home would be appreciated by those that you live with. Making sure that you give yourself some downtime is really, really important. There's lots in the news about COVID-19 and lots of new information being released all of the time. Find some time for you to do the things that you most enjoy doing whilst in the confines of your home. This could be watching a film with your family, reading a magazine, reading a book, or playing a board game, for example. It is good to be aware of what's happening in the world around you, but we all need to take a step away from that sometimes and give ourselves some time away from the worry and anxiety that those news reports can bring. Captain Ramsay talked in his news report about conflict and about how when you spend a lot of time with somebody in a small space, that relationships can become fraught, and that's exactly the same in a family home. No matter how much we love and care about the people that we live with, when we're all living together and spending long periods of time in the home together, things can become difficult. I think there are probably things about all of our family members that irritate us, certainly as in my house, and usually we cope quite well with this, but when we're all together, sometimes these things can feel more difficult to ignore. Try to recognise when things are getting difficult and try to de-escalate situations where you can. That might mean removing yourself from an area at home and having some time to yourself somewhere quiet, or it might mean just biting your tongue when somebody said something to you that you really want to react to or that you really disagree with. Counting to 10 is really simple and it works really well for me at the moment, so that might be something that you want to try. The last thing that Captain Ramsay talked about was communicating. Talk to those at home, talk to your family, talk to your friends using social media or other methods of communication. Tell people how you feel. It's really important, whether that's, feelings of being angry, upset, tearful, or feelings of, happiness and excitement about something. It really is good to talk, so don't shy away from that. Mr. Lynch talked in his assembly last week about when you go for your daily exercise and just taking the time to say hi to somebody, smiling at somebody across the road, somebody that you may not know, you may never see again, but just taking a minute to say hi, good morning, good afternoon, and maybe asking after them. Every little bit helps at this time. This final point brings me back to where I started and saying to you that school may be closed for most, but we really are here for all of you. You've been provided with the email addresses of all of our classroom teachers. If you've got a question about your schoolwork, about the curriculum, please get in touch with your teachers about those. But if there's something else that you want to talk about, if there's something else that's worrying you, something else that's on your mind, we're here for you also. Please do contact us at school if you feel that things are difficult or that you want somebody to speak to. Remember, we've also set up an email inbox for any safeguarding concerns to be reported to us. So if you're aware of a serious safeguarding issue that you think an adult in school needs to be aware of, then please let us know. That email address is safeguarding@smiths-wood.com. That's there for you to use. And just before I sign out and say goodbye, we are in a storm, but the thing with storms is they do end. We will get through this. We know it's a difficult time and things may continue to be difficult and may become more difficult for some of us. But what is for sure is that we will come out of this the other side, and we will be stronger as a school community and we will be stronger as a nation. So please remember that we are in a storm, but storms do pass. Take care, look after yourselves, look after each other, and remember that we are here for you. Bye.